I have good news. Giant mushrooms outdoors, not underground, are still possible. See this big giant sand and dirt box? Okay, so it has to be at least 7 wide, 7 long, and 7 tall, at least. There can be no light. Go to the center. I planted it all in dirt because it seemed to work better than just a patch of dirt in sand. Hit it with bone meal, and boom, you've got a giant mushroom. You can do it with red ones, and you can do it with brown ones. And of course, I put a jack-o'-lantern at the top of the stem. This is the method by which to remove sand, but it takes some practice. It's one of the only things I use torches for, just as plain old torches. Throw it down and the sand will break on top. It's some sort of a computery thing. It has something to do with the way the game's programmed. You can use other items underneath it too. Look it up on the wiki. So there's the giant mushroom. I'm using them for beach umbrellas at my desert oasis resort. And I made myself a little stair step so I can get up on top and remove the dirt over the roof. Remember, even though I'm playing in peaceful, I try to play as though the monsters are on so that I will develop good habits. So therefore, I had to put a jack-o'-lantern on top so cooties wouldn't spawn. Then as soon as I could get to it, I put one on top of the mushroom cap. I'm really glad to say that jack-o'-lanterns attach directly to mushroom caps. Jack-o'-lanterns are finicky and there are some things they won't attach to. Now remove your staircase, and there's your mushroom. And they do last in the heat of the day. They do not disappear. Looks really nice at night. Makes a good beach umbrella. Now I'm making grass grow on dirt blocks because where the where the mushrooms are placed, it's just dirt blocks. You have to use a lot of light, connect the dirt together all the way to where you want it to go, and you need to stay in the area, and the grass blocks will transfer from block to block. It takes a while, so you better have a good project. I went away from keyboard for a while, and let it grow, and it's still got a long way to go. There goes a spy chicken. And I plunked down as many jack-o'-lanterns as I could all along the way to encourage it to grow quickly. Grass blocks are arbitrary. You never know when they're going to start growing. This one's already going. So you can't judge when it's going to happen. So you just got to be patient. This is one I made out of dirt. I ended up making the other one out of sand because dirt is scarce in the desert and it was really frustrating. You need about 4 stacks of dirt or more to make one of these. Put your mushroom down in the middle. Whack it with bone meal, boom, you got your mushroom. Another beach umbrella. Just wanted you to see what it looked like made out of dirt. I guess if you were in a foresty area, well, someplace with dirt, it would be easy to do it that way. I think you can do it with just about any block because you can grow them underground in stone caverns and so on. There's one I made with a polka dot umbrella mushroom to make a water feature for my Oasis Park. Been doing a lot of work on the Oasis, getting it put together and ready for visitors. That's why I need villagers, so I can have visitors. It's a campground. I made a sort of a primitive campground with little cabanas or lanais or whatever you want to call them for shade where people can lounge around either on a day trip or they can camp overnight. It's primitive. The bathrooms and showers are underground. It's just a nice spot in the middle of the desert for people who are on the road so that they can stop over and rest and cool off in the water and have some fun. This is when I started digging that mushroom. Some of the sand collapsed and there is a cavern under there, but I'm using it right now for mushroom farm because, you know, red mushrooms are more scarce than brown, and I want lots more of those red cap umbrella mushrooms too. covered it all up so it wouldn't be exposed to light. Little barbecue I made out of brick steps and half slabs and blocks with a little piece of glass in the middle and a pumpkin for the fire. Here's a lanai with a glowing jack-o'-lantern table with a little drink with an umbrella in it. Table made out of a half slab and glass panes. And down here, as I was building the lanais, I discovered another dungeon. I'm glad they're putting enchanted books in now. This is really helping me a lot. I'm not sure how to use them. I will research it, and when I know, we will enchant some stuff so you can see. So that's another dungeon. That will be a downstairs restroom and shower and laundry area for my guests. And here's what I did to the witch hut. Witches are not violent if you leave them alone. You have to approach them. All they do is try to defend themselves. They're old women who have no family, who live in remote areas, who have been called witches because to younger people and more wealthy people or affluent people, they seem strange and peculiar. They live alone because they're afraid to be around people. I know about this. So I glassed in her hut. I gave her a sheep that I dyed with lapis. So that sheep's name is Lucy Lapis Lazuli. She's all glassed in. She can see the entire oasis. She can come out if she wants to, but she won't want to. Here's a little refreshment bar I made with some of the moss stone from some dungeon stuff and half slabs and fence posts. All my furnaces are there, crafting table on each end. I'm doing a lot of cooking because I'm baking clay and glass and all kinds of stuff. There's my mushroom fountain again. So, witches are just old women who live in poverty, who are afraid to interact with people because they get teased and tormented, gossiped about, called horrible things. I've had people chase me down the street. I was pushing a baby stroller with my groceries home from the grocery store. My own landlord thinks I'm a Satanist because I have a doll from India hanging up outside. So I tend to stay to myself too. So I felt bad that everybody's afraid of her and stuff. I looked up the dimensions for witch huts, and I will link a video to witch hut stuff in this video here. So yeah, I decorated her house. I gave her a nice place to live. So she can be like the lifeguard. She'll keep an eye out on people, make sure nobody's getting hurt. But it's true, as long as you don't get near them, they won't hurt you. And they don't use weapons or brute force. They use magic, which is really just medicine. See, back in the days before doctors and drugstores, old women knew recipes for things that made you feel better. It was very rare in the old days for women to even get old, because they couldn't work. They had to depend on the men in their lives, fathers and sons and husbands. See how poor she is? She has nothing. She doesn't even have a chest with anything in it. That mushroom volunteered there. So they knew how to do things, and some people who were ignorant and superstitious thought they were dangerous or evil because they knew how to do stuff. It would really help if people would listen to elders, because we do have a lot of life experience. We have things to share, and just because we're not pretty or can't sell shampoo and toothpaste in commercials doesn't mean we don't have value, and it doesn't mean it's right to laugh or tease or hurt us. In fact, people are still afraid of people who are different and call them witches to this day. There are places in Africa where young girls who are very good at school, people are afraid of them and think they're possessed by demons because they're intelligent. Because the people themselves are so ignorant and foolish, they think those girls should be as ignorant and foolish as they are. And because those girls are bright, they are thrown out by their families. The townspeople don't want them. They're abused. Sometimes they're set on fire. This is happening today. So I wanted to make sure my witch would be okay, that she had enough room to spawn when I turn the cooties on. And I will sit in a nice safe place and watch and see if she spawns. But I don't see any, if you leave her alone, I don't see any reason to be afraid of her. She won't hurt you unless you try to hurt her. She's just trying to protect herself and keep herself safe. And I do understand about that. So being afraid of people because they look a little different or have facial features that are odd, older people have scars, and like I have missing teeth. We have disabilities often, and it makes us just a little bit different. But on the inside, we're just normal people, and it's really scary to see how easily other people can be frightened. Made a little refreshment bar underneath the mushrooms with half slabs and fence posts, and again, little drinks with umbrellas in them because this is a place for recreation. Here I am training the dirt, and you can see how far I've brought it. I brought it all the way from the other corner of the railroad crossing. Right there is the only green block, and I went all this way with it. So it comes along. It's a lot of jack-o'-lanterns. I have a new string of jack-o'-lanterns growing along the side of what's going to be the railroad track. I'll show it to you. But it's closer to the house. It's not out here in the oasis and stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of jack-o'-lantern pumpkins growing now. So when I walk out this way, I just go down the road and go whackety whackety whack with my hatchet, and I've got lots of pumpkins. So a little bit by little bit, I'm making this oasis. I think it'll be really fun when I have some villagers in it. So that's part of the thing with being a person with disabilities. People have a lot of ignorant ideas about what that means. Maybe you're a bad person and God is mad at you, or you're cursed, or silly things, or or you're in league with evil, and it's just not true. That's all made up stories. People are afraid of what's different than they are, and they make up all kinds of bad stories about that to justify being mean to people who are different than they are. If we can convince ourselves that somebody who's different than us is bad or evil or deserves for us to be mean to them, that's all the excuse we need, isn't it? I don't know what to do about it. It's real hard to stick up for yourself because people will punish you for speaking up and saying, this isn't fair, I'm just like you are. I really don't know what to do about it except to just talk about it. And we can support each other in knowing that we are okay people and we're just fine. And provide each other a little bit of a safe and happy place to be, like I've tried to do here. I hope she spawns. I did use bone meal on the grass, and it grew flowers and tall grass. I hope that doesn't take away from her ability to spawn. Hope the sugarcane doesn't either, because they spawn underneath and inside of the huts, and that glass is just the right diameter. They are usually right around the roof of the huts. They don't spawn very far away, and they will only roam away from their huts usually to follow you. They don't go very far from home, just a few blocks from home. There's Lucy, lapis lazuli. Isn't she pretty? I made a flag out of some of her, like a pennant, out of some of her wool, and it's flying over the oasis now. There it is. So, you're not a bad person, and you're not weird or strange or dangerous or evil or cursed or sick. You're just different, and that's beautiful. Thanks for watching, and glad you're on my channel. Bye.